All right, everyone, let's go ahead and get started on this. This is Chapter 9, Homework 4, number 45. Match each graph below with the correct inequality. And this is actually what we were working on today in class. Right? So first, to do this, you have to look at what the line would be if it was an equal. Right? If each of these were equal, what would be the lines? Right? And that may, actually, I'm looking at these, and that might be enough to figure out which one's which. Right, the first one, y equals negative 1x plus 2. So that means that you should be starting somewhere right here, and you should be going down 1 over 1. So this one is not a start right here, down 1 over 1. This one looks like it matches. Okay, let's see. Start here, down 1 over 1. Oh, this one might match as well. And start here, down 1 over 1. So this one doesn't match. All right, so far for A, this one doesn't work, and this one doesn't work. Okay. So I'm looking at A for now, and looks like it's down 1 over 1. So it looks like those two are the ones that are going to work. Okay. So what I have to do is next I have to, because either number 2 or number 3 is going to work. And you see number 2 is all shading down below, and number 3 is all shading up above. So I'm going to go ahead and check. Right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and pick a point to be used. So I'm going to pick the point 0, 0. And if it works, then it's number 2. If it doesn't work, see 0, 0, it's not in the shaded, then that means that it's number 3. So I'm going to pick 0, 0 and put it into x for 0 and put y for 0. So I have 0 greater than 0, because there's no such thing as negative 0, plus 2. So this is 0 is greater than positive 2. And this is false. Okay, so this one would be true because that one means I would shade towards this point. Okay, so I don't want that. So that means that it's going to be false. So it would be this graph right here. Okay, so A belongs with C, or number 3. I don't know why I said C. So A should be 3, or you can call it 3 should be A. So I'll put A right here. Right? So A is done. So A should be number 3. All right. Looking at B. B looks like it has y-intercept of negative 3, so it should start about right here. And it should be up 2 and over 1. And this one looks like it matches. It should start negative 3, up 2 over 1. This one doesn't match, right? Because it would look like this. So that one's not it. 3 isn't it. And 4 looks like it starts here and up 2 over 1. So that's not it either. So 4, so that means that only one that works is 1. Right, so B should be 1. Right? And I didn't even do any of the graphing with the inequality. I just graphed the line. All right, so if you want to check it though, okay, so if you pick 0, 0, right, and 0, 0 is outside, so it should be false. So if I put 0 here and 0 here, so this comes out to be 0 is less than 0 minus 3, because I'm beginning here. 0 is less than 0 minus 3. And this comes out to be 0 is less than negative 3, which is wrong. Right? That's why this one, the 0, 0 doesn't work. But we do know that the graph is going to be graph 1. Right? So B should be graph 1. So 1, the answer should be B. All right, C. If we look at this, there's no y-intercept, so it starts at 0. So it starts here, which doesn't. So we know that one's wrong. And this one starts here, so it looks like this is the only one that matches. And the slope is going to be up 1 and over 2. So if you follow it, up 1 and over 2, it looks like it matches. So I'm going to have to go with 4 as C. Okay, and again, I'm not even checking my point. Right? Oh, and actually, let's look at that. Right? If we wanted to check, we can't pick 0, 0. If we wanted to check, we can't pick 0, 0 because 0, 0 is on the line. So we have to pick something else, like, for example, maybe 2, 0, right? So when x is 2 and y is 0, this is work, right? And if I pick 2, 0, you can see that, look, this means that if it's true, it should be shading towards that 0 point, but it's not shading towards that 0 point. So this should come out to be false. So this equation should come out to be false. So let's check it out. So we got 0 greater than or equal to, and then 1/2 times 2. And 1/2 times 2, the 2's cancel and makes it 1. So this comes out to be 0 is greater than or equal to 1. And that's wrong. 0 is not greater than 1. So that's why we don't shade towards this point right here. We shade away from it. That's why we're shading on top of it. So this graph does work. Okay, so that one should be C. And by process of elimination, 2 should be D. Okay, because it looks like we start at 2, and it's going to be down 2 and over 3. So if you go down 2 and over 3, looks like it hits it right there. And if I pick 0, 0, just to check it out, right? So if I pick 0, 0, and this one, 0, 0, is on the shaded, so it should be true. So if I pick 0 right here, and 0 right here, let's work this out. So it'll be 0 less than or equal to, and 0 times negative 2/3 is 0 minus 2. So this says 0 is less than or equal to, oh, that's a positive 2. Sorry. That's a positive 2 right there. So 0 is less than or equal to, 0 plus 2 is 2. And 0 is less than or equal to 2. So this one's true. That's why you shade towards the 0. And that's why you shade on the same side as it. So, right, it's a lot of work just to check. But if you're just kind of looking at the lines, it's pretty straightforward, pretty fast. Solve each inequality, represent the solutions on a number line. Okay, so not like what we did earlier with the graph of x and y, but it's just a number line. The graph is just x, or the graph of y, or just one variable. Okay, this one right here, A, we got 3x minus 2 less than 10. Okay, to do this, we're going to go ahead and add 2. Those are going to cancel. We're going to get 3x less than 12. And to do this, we're going to go ahead and do the opposite of times 3, which is division by 3. That's going to cancel. We get x is less than 12 divided by 3 is 4. So when you graph this, here's 0, here's 4, and I'm going to have an open circle here, and I'm going to be shading everything in this direction. Okay. B, 5x minus 1 minus 3x greater than or equal to 4x plus 5. Whew, that's a lot going on. Let me see. I think I can put 5x and negative 3x together. Okay, so I can put those together. Those are going to give me negative 5 minus 3 is 2x. So I'm going to write down 2x. Copy the minus 1. Copy the greater than or equal to 4x plus 5. Okay, and then I think I'm going to combine the x's together. So I think I'm going to go ahead and move this 2x over. I'm going to go ahead and do minus 2x. Right, so I'm going to be on the wrong side, but it's okay. I'll fix it later. These are going to cancel. And now I got 4x minus 2x is just 2x. Copy the rest, plus 5. Copy. Copy. Okay, now I'm going to go ahead and subtract 5 because I want to get that x by itself. So subtract 5. Those cancel, and I will have negative 1 and minus 5 is negative 6. Use the calculator if you need help. Greater than or equal to 2x. Okay, now I'm going to get rid of that times 2 because the opposite of times 2 is division by 2. And those 2's are going to cancel. Now we get x. Copy that. And then negative 6 divided by 2 is negative 3. Okay. And because this is written with the x on the right hand side, I'm going to go ahead and flip it around. So I'm going to say I want x to be in the front negative 3 in the back, and you see how it's opening to the negative 3. I'm going to go ahead and keep it opening to the negative 3. All right, so when I graph this, here's my 0, here's my negative 3, and I need to have a circle, actually a closed circle around negative 3, and it needs to shade to the left. Okay. C, that one's actually pretty tough. B, 2 times 2 plus, 2 times x plus 2. Greater than 10 minus x. Okay, you're going to go ahead and do the distributive property. You're going to take the 2 and distribute it to x. Take the 2, distribute it to positive 2. That's going to give you 2x plus 4. Copy the rest down. Okay, those of you guys are not copying and doing this step by step, this is where you get lost, and this is where you end up saying you don't know how to do it because you're not listening to what I'm saying. Do the work. 2 times x is 2x. 2 times positive 2 is 4. That's all you're doing. That's all the work you're doing for now. You're going to copy the rest down. Don't be lazy. Copy it down. Okay, now you're going to go ahead and start combining stuff. Okay, I think I'm going to go ahead and add x because I want my x's to be on the right-hand side for this, in this case. So if I add x and add x, remember x is actually 1x. So 2x and 1x makes 3x's. Right, that's the only work I did. The rest of it, I'm going to copy it. Copy the 4 plus 4. Copy the greater than. Copy the 10. Right? And then these cancel out. Okay. Now what else am I going to do? Well, I'm going to go ahead and get rid of that 4. So I'm going to do the opposite. Minus 4. Minus 4. Okay, these are going to cancel out. Copy the rest now. 3x. That's all I have left. Greater than. Okay, now you have to do this work right here. Okay, this isn't copying. You actually have to figure this out. 10 take away 4. 10 minus 4 is 6. All right, now you're almost done. You got to get rid of that times 3. So you got to go division by 3. Okay, these 3's are going to cancel out. And you're going to copy the x because that's what's left. Copy the greater than. Now the only work you have to do for this round is going to be 6 divided by 3. You're going to figure that out. That's 2. Okay, so now you're going to go ahead and graph this. Here's your equation, or here's your graph. 0's in the middle somewhere. 2 is sitting about right here. And I need to draw my dot at 2. Okay, it's open, and I need to shade to the right. So I need to go and shade to the right-hand side. Okay. And letter D. We'll do purple. We have 4 parentheses x minus 3 close parentheses plus 5 greater than negative 7. Okay, I'm going to extend the page a little bit. Okay, so I'm going to work on that. So again, I'm going to do the same thing that I did with the last, with letter B, I believe. No, with letter C. Okay, I need to go and distribute this 4. So take 4 and multiply it to the x. That's going to get you 4x. Okay, that's the work you have to do. Okay, and take this 4 and distribute it to the negative 3. Okay, and that's going to get you 4 times negative 3 is going to be negative 12. Okay, that's the only work you're doing this first round. The rest of it, copy, 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 and copy. Okay, now what else are you going to do? Well, I'm going to do a little bit more work. I'm going to put the negative 12 and the positive 5 together because they're both just numbers. So negative 12 and positive 5. If you don't know, use a calculator. It's going to be negative 7. Okay, now that's the only work you did. So you're going to go ahead and copy the rest. Copy 4x. Copy down the greater than. Copy down the minus 7. All right, now what else are you going to do? Well, I need to solve for my x. That means I need to get rid of the 4. And I also need to get rid of the negative 7. Okay, I need to start with the negative 7 because it's a little bit further away. So I need to go opposite of minus 7 is plus 7. And I got to do the same over here. Okay, while these go away, I will be left with 4x. Copy it down. Greater than, and I got to figure out what -7 plus 7 is. And also it goes away. It goes away to 0. Okay, now I got to figure this out. Well, how do I get rid of the times 4? Well, you're going to divide it by 4. The 4 is going to cancel, and you're left with just x. Greater than, right? You're just copying it, but now this is the real work. You got to figure out what 0 divided by 4 is. So use a calculator, or use what you know. This comes out to be 0. And you graph 0 in the middle. And actually, that's where I draw my circle. And I need to graph to the right, because if you look at this inequality, if I have my x on the left-hand side, this inequality has an arrow. If I draw that inequality into an arrow, it points to the right. So I'm going to shade everything to the right-hand side. Okay. Last one. The line has intercepts at 4, 0, and 0, 3. Write the equation for the line. I think on this one, I'm going to go ahead and graph it. Graph my x-axis. Graph my y-axis. Okay, I'm going to do a couple numbers on each side. I'm going to go to 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's -4. 1, 2, 3, -4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and graph 4, 0. Okay, 4, 0 is 1, 2, 3, 4 on the x and 0 on the y, meaning right there. That's where 4, 0 should be. Okay. 0, -3 is 0 on the x and -3 on the y. So this is where 0, -3 should be. Okay. I need a line between them. Okay. So I need the equation of this line. So this line starts here. And goes through that point. So what is that equation? Right. So that's what I want to know. What is that equation of that line? Okay. Well, remember the equation of any line is y equals mx plus b. Right. The b is the y-intercept, or where it crosses the y-axis. So the b is right there. That's the y-intercept. So that b is actually my -3. So it's going to be -3. Okay, that's going to go in the place of the b. Okay, I will still have an x. Okay, but now my m is my slope. M is my slope. Okay, my slope, and my slope is easy because I just have to count from one point to the next point. So my slope is going to be from the blue point. I'm going to start on my left side, so it's going to be up 1, up 2, up 3. Okay, so my slope is going to be up 3, so I'm going to write down 3 over, and my run is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4. So up 3 and over 4.